Hey, everybody. Well, it wasn't quite 15 minutes because my dog ate faster than I thought, and some other things that I was doing, I did quicker, which was really just cleaning a couple things up. So I'm back here for part 2 of the stream, where we're going to, I don't know, we're going to see. We're going to see what we feel like doing here. I apologize, I am, for some reason I find mints cooling. Mints? You know, actual, like, breath mints? Well, actually, it's probably not a surprise. This is a peppermint one from, it's like the Altoids, but not the old school Altoids, the super ultra, very powerful ones. The kind of more, actually, maybe these aren't Altoids. Well, they are. They're little Altoids tins, but they're a little bit milder ones. I remember when Altoids came out and everybody was all nuts about how strong they were. Unusually powerful mints or something along those lines is what they said. So I mean, they're fine. I don't mind them, but I was never as wrapped up in them as some people were. So, but I do have one in my mouth, so I apologize. That's probably not a great sound. In fact, I'm going to cover the mic. Well, I didn't cover it that well. Let me crunch it. There we go. I don't like, the idea of having a mint bouncing around in my mouth is, on a stream doesn't appeal to me. Okay, so let's switch to, I'm not even going to bother with the starting soon thing, because what I think I'm going to end up doing, should I just bridge these together? No, let's break them apart, just because that's a long period of time. I don't know if anybody's going to really want to watch it for that long. So we will make these two separate videos when they are posted on YouTube. So let's go ahead and do our opening roll. I won't wait as long. If people are going to come back, they're going to come back. If they're not, they're not. People, I say, as if there was more than one. There was only one. Sorry if you heard my email mess. Oh, that's my summary from the previous stream. Thank you, Twitch. So I assume that means it's up already. I tell you that Twitch does process quick. So, yeah, so sorry. Well, I shouldn't say sorry. You may have heard that in the background. Mike may have picked that up. And that is, well, let me get a drink first. That sound effect, which you probably couldn't hear very well, but essentially what it is exactly, is that is a sound effect. This will date, well, that's not really all that vague on the fact that I'm old, but that sound effect is Mila Jovovich, the actress and model, saying, "You've got mailman," which she did for America Online, a service that doesn't even exist anymore. And I've had that sound effect in my possession since whenever she did it. In fact, while we're in our pre-show lounge here, let's see when those were recorded. I mean, they've got to be a long time back now. But that has been my email sound on every phone I've had where I could do it. Let's see. No. Where's where she did the sound effects? Here it is. She did them in. Wow, she still got them up on her. Are these still up on her page?
You've got mailman.
Oh, there it is. You can hear it. This is from her website.
You've got mailman.
That's my. When did these get recorded? Wow, she's still got Winamp skins and stuff on here. That's astounding. She's got, she has a welcome sound.
I've been waiting for you.
I should grab that sound. And then she's got a goodbye. This is from, nobody who didn't use America Online. There was a welcome sound when you signed on. There was a mail sound, and then there was a goodbye sound. Let's hear what the goodbye sound is.
I miss you already.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, I'm downloading those. Because I don't know what I would actually use these for, but anything Mila I'm interested in.
I've been waiting for you.
That's highly disturbing. Save. Okay. So I don't know what use I'll have for those, but since they were amazingly still available, I'm grabbing them. All right, let's roll our pre-show thing here. I'm still going back and forth. You know what I think I'm going to do, just because these are now two separate streams, I think I will take a break on the rat because I got it to a, it's moving along. So what I'm going to do is let me save this out very quickly. So bear with me a minute. And let's go to my skull here. There we go. Skull is up. So when this fades, we will be ready to... Come on, fade. Wow. A fade is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. There we go. Okay. So here is the skull we've been working on in the background. So what I had made a decision in the last stream was I decided to make the dark gray areas have the rings that you can see here. And so I extended those dark gray areas to this and this area and that area. So those will now have rings. So let's switch over to our black ink or pen, whatever we're calling it. Oh, hold on, let me see where this is. This would be in the rings. Lord of the Rings. Okay, so it's obviously got to be a 3. Yep, that's a 3. So here we go with our rings. Rings and things. Let's go ahead and assume... What was I was talking... Oh, I had an idea. Oh, no, I forgot. I had an idea for the gray areas. Oh, man, I completely blanked on it. What was my idea for that? Well, it doesn't matter. I'll either think of it or I won't. In any event, we're going to make this as if this is actually a hole that you can see right through to the inner rings, or, the inner rings layer. So we're just going to do this. Very, very simple. And I see I went out of the lines a little bit there, so I'll fix that. And we'll do this. So let's grab our eraser. Very carefully erase that. Make sure I didn't go out anywhere else. Does not appear so. So see, that makes it look like you're looking right through that crack into the same area that the eye is in. Now, here we go with the fun stuff, because this is going to be interesting. I'm going to do it this way. No, I'm going to do it this way. We're going to do this. We're going to start here, and we're going to do this, and we're just going to follow this along. This does take a little bit of concentration, so forgive me, because my talking will slow down as if my brain is being run through a sieve. There we go. Just because it's very hard. I'll show you. If I were to zoom in, because the logical thing you would think looking at it is, well, if it's tough to do it with it zoomed out, just zoom in and do it partially, right? So, okay, let's say I do that. So there's the edge of the screen. Now, see already, because I couldn't see that, if I were to try to join that up, I guess it looks okay. Oh, yeah, I guess it looks all right. Usually when I do that with bigger lines, it doesn't look right. There's a seam. You know what? Wait a minute. Okay, hold on. I just saw it. Was the seam right here? We're going to find out. Oh, well. Okay. Let me look at it. Yeah, it's where it was. See, I can see it. Yeah, I can't do that. I can pick that up. I will notice that, and it will bug me. No one else will notice it, but, whatever. It's no big deal. I don't mind doing it this way. I think it's actually good training, because doing this, if I were to do this on paper with pen and ink, I wouldn't be able to zoom in anyway. So this is good kind of older classical technique training anyway for me, because I don't really do stuff on physical anymore. Haven't in quite a long time. It's funny, I have a drawing board about 4 feet behind me, which I haven't really used for drawing in quite a long time. I think I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do a traditional media piece where I'm gonna use my old pen and ink stuff just to do it. It's good once in a while to go back and do something like that. I don't want to lose, not that I would lose the ability. I'm still drawing on this, but still, it's not quite the same. But, I still have my same portfolio from when I went to art school. Art college sounds weird, so I just say art school, but it was college. Art school was fun. I mean, it wasn't fun while I was there, really, in terms of the. Actually, I shouldn't say that. The drawing classes and stuff, that was fun. It was, you know, as I've gotten older, or in the years since I went to college, I really have had more and more of an appreciation of that particular time because, and this is the, anybody listening, if you're younger, and I doubt there are many younger listeners or watchers, I guess, or viewers, but if you go to college, and not everybody has to go to college, I think that's very true. There's a lot of people now who are saying it's, oh geez, what is that? Did I just miss the gray area? Is that what that is? Yeah, it is. I just missed an area. Okay, I thought I did something. Um, but if you do go to college, and especially if you go, well, it doesn't really matter where you go. But I, I think I think there is a real going to art school was simultaneously one of the most valuable things I ever did and one of the most worthless things I ever did. Worthless because getting a job as an artist is not simple at all, and in fact is highly unlikely. So in one sense, going to say business school might have been a more valuable thing in terms of work. However, that's just one calculus of it. Because what I did get from art, I mean, I got a number of things. One, and probably the one that just for me personally is something now that I appreciate that I didn't then, which was because I was a fool. I was young and I was a fool. I was around other creative people who were like me. And that's a thing that you don't, some people are lucky and they live their whole lives and they can be around people that are like them. Most of us don't. Most people, you get to a certain point and it's whether you have a job that isn't really something that you love, or, just the people around you are just not your type of people, or whatever it may be. You go to college and you're around people who are like you, it's a transformative thing, it really is, and I did not appreciate it properly when I was there. But, and this is another good thing about, depending on where you go, especially if you're creative in any way, because there's a practicality to not going, unless you're like a prodigy. If you're some kind of genius, well, sure, that you're going to go to whatever school is the best school for whatever it is you do. But for a lot of people, it may not seem practical to go to art school, music school, acting school, whatever. But there is a value to it, and part of it is that, because I mean, I would have never met Lando if I didn't go there. And when I first saw Lando, and this is kind of my second point, Lando was a nut. I looked at Lando and I thought, there's somebody I would never be friends with. And, now 22 years later, we're still best friends. We still do a show together every week. And that would not have happened had I not made what my parents would, or my mother, because my dad's not alive anymore, but what my mother would still say was probably a mistake because I went to art school. Now, some of the reasons she'd probably say that was a mistake is because I went to art school for a girl, which wasn't the smartest move, but it didn't really matter. Sometimes you stumble into good things, and in this case, while following a person to a school was perhaps not the most intelligent thing to do, it ended up fine because I still ended up at an art school, so it was okay. And the biggest benefit of going to art school, and I would assume this would be the case in any kind of artistic or creative institution, is the people that I met. And not even just met, because I can't even say I met them all, but the people that I was exposed to. The people that I got to be around who were not just run-of-the-mill people. Because, the first year I was there, just the roommates that I had there were such diverse people. I mean, not one of them anything like the other one. And from a really quite a range of life experience and actual individuals. And I really think that was probably one of the most tremendously beneficial things that I could have happen to me, was to be around people who were very definitely not like me. Very, very different from me. Um, in fact, there was really nobody, quote unquote, like me. And that was to my benefit because I got to accept people for who they were. I got to be around people and understand the limits of my perspective and my life experience and just see that there are so many variations in people, so many different types of people. And that was just within the small group that I was in, where races, genders, everything was such a mix. And don't get me wrong, that the variety of people did not always mix well. I never really had any problem with most people. Amazingly, I got along with everybody fairly well. And I think that's just because I very quickly went, oh, okay, these are just different people, and that is an invaluable experience. If I had just gone to a school where everybody looked like me and came from the same place as I did, I think my outlook on life would be far dimmer in terms of being able to appreciate things. So go be around weird people. I mean, don't be around dangerous weird people. You know, there's a difference. But seek out people who are different, who have kind of creative minds or just different ways of looking at the world. It's worth knowing those people. It will make you go through. You know what? I'm going to do these lines differently. I'm going to do these lines like this. It will make you see the world in a much different way, and a potentially much better one, because you won't necessarily understand them. I'm not going to pretend that everybody I encountered, and I can think of many times where I went, okay, I'm not really sure I'm getting what's going on there, but also, crucially, learn to not care. If it wasn't hurting me, I didn't care. If it wasn't hurting anybody else, I didn't care either. You know? And that was also, again, just something where I didn't appreciate it at the time because I was there. You know, when you're in the middle of something, you don't tend to appreciate things. Oh, she went off again. But the more I've thought about it, the more that I've appreciated the fact that I had that particular experience. So, just saying it's a good thing. Be around weird people, experience weird people, creative people, odd people. It will broaden your perspective on the world. It will make you more tolerant and more curious, and I don't know. It would make the world a lot better if more people knew stranger people, I think. You know what? Yeah, I did this completely wrong. I'm going to redo these lines, but I'm going to have these lines somewhat reflecting how the teeth are going. So let me think about the best way to do this. So I'm going to have them kind of vertical. Well, they'll be kind of, I guess, diagonal, really. But yeah, art school was, I'm so happy and you know, at the time I had no sense of this. At the time I was just, like I said, I was following another person, and that fell apart within no time, revealing the fact that that was a bad idea to begin with. But again, in the end, it was a good thing, because I got to be around and meet all these people who were just unique and different. And even the people I didn't like, there's still a benefit to being around people you don't like, because, you know, you're not going to like everybody in life. So there is a worth in being able to determine those that you don't want to be around and avoid those people without necessarily. It's okay not to like people, but it should be for a reason. They should do something. And I had people like that where I went, yeah, this is not a person I want to be around because they're doing X, Y, and Z. And that's okay. It's when you just don't like people for no reason, or really foolish reasons. You know, that's where, come on. So yeah, art school was great. It was, I mean, it wasn't fun from from a scholastic point of view because I was an awful student, but a fun or a rich experience in terms of life that I now appreciate. So, but yeah, you might find if you are considering going to art school that you will be told many times that it's maybe not the most practical idea, and it isn't. I will not lie to you and tell you that it's going to be something that will tremendously benefit you from a job prospect sense of things. And if that's your top priority, then you're probably not interested in art school anyway. But it is I mean, I don't know what it's like now. Schools are much different now than they used to be. But I would assume that that fundamental thing of creativity, that doesn't change. The truly creative and unique people, they're gonna be weird no matter where they are, and that's great. We could all use a little bit more weirdness in our lives. So yeah, I like the teeth lines like that. I think that's working out. Now let me just make sure of something. I want to make sure I'm getting my colors right here. So bear with me a moment. Let me check that color. Okay, let's check it against that color. It is the same color. Happy day, I get to do more rings. Because I'm not going to do them if the color doesn't match. And I'm not going to change any more colors. I changed enough, so. Yeah. Or rings or lines or whatever we're calling these. There's a comic book artist who uses a lot of these types of things, but I can't think of who it is now. These kinds of lines. Ron Lim did it. No, I shouldn't say it. Ron Lim just did it on Thanos' mouth. There's somebody who does a lot of these kind of. Not Jack Kirby, I'm sure some people are thinking. And I get that these lines are Kirby-esque, but that's not who I'm thinking of. I just can't remember now. But doesn't matter. It's fine. But yeah, if you're at all interested, go to art school. Go to art school and soak up those people and all their craziness and and some of the people I remember were so talented, way better than I ever will be. Painters and designers and that type of stuff. And yeah, I do miss that. There is something that I will never in my life, I'm pretty sure, encounter like that. That's not really me being upset about it or anything like that. In fact, in some ways, a singular life experience is good because that's what makes it special in your mind. You don't always have to recapture certain things. When I went to Italy, that trip to Italy, even if I were to go back to Italy every year, it will never be like that trip to Italy was. And that's what makes it special, because I remember just about everything from that trip really clearly. And it was a great trip and again, that was a trip with a bunch of wackadoos, and it was great. Bunch of nuts running around in a country where art and life are very well celebrated, and nobody's in a hurry, and you look around and the buildings are just magnificent and old, and it's delightful. I call my trip to Italy magical, and I mean it every time I say it. It's great. Or it was great. But if I were to go back every year, it will never be like that trip again for a number of reasons. The people will never be quite the same mix of people, because some of them I don't know anymore. I won't be the same age. Italy itself is different now. Not saying negative or anything or bad, but it is. Everything changes over time. And that's, so some people get very upset about the past and things that they did that they can't re-experience. I don't really have that. I don't really miss experiences that way, because I think that their unique nature is what makes them special. The fact that they can't just be if you could just redo the same thing all the time and have the same exact reaction all the time, I don't know, is that really good? It sounds good. Because you think about a happy memory and you're like, oh, if only I could just recapture that happy memory again. But no, to go back and re-experience it, that would certainly be interesting. If they invented a time machine tomorrow or next week that lets you actually go back and re-feel all the things you did with the same people, that would be interesting. Although even that, I don't know. Can you possibly re-experience things as a different individual later in your life because you fundamentally have changed. You've grown and changed in your opinion of things. Like if I were to go back, if I were to somehow warp back to Italy, I don't know that it would have the same magic for me because of how I am now. Not because I wouldn't, I mean, I'd still love it. I'd still think things were great about it. But at that time, I was a completely different person. I was, that was 20 something years ago. 21 years ago, maybe. Well, I'm a lot different than I was 21 years ago. You know? Which isn't to say I think I'd have a bad time. I'm sure I would still like it, but I might, I don't know. I don't think there's ever a way to go back to that stuff. So, we think about, to recapture that feeling. You can't recapture those feelings. Those feelings exist as the person you were. And since you can't revert your age, or at least I've never heard of a way to do it, you can't go back to it. Oh, you know what? I forgot to color that in. Whoops. I completely forgot to color that particular gray area in. That's what, this? Is that this? No, wait. Hold on. Oh, I did. Okay. It's this one. That's so darkest gray. Oh, so I meant to do this. Yeah, because I turned this, wait. What did I do here? This is the same color as that. Let me verify. Hold on. I believe that this, I think I know what I did. And this are the same color. So that was intended to be here. Yeah, okay, I got it. I meant to do this last time, but I was doing this right at the end of the stream, and I think I just forgot. So I got it. Yeah, so that's... It would be interesting if they ever do come up with some way to... I mean, I don't know if they ever will. I don't know if that's pure science fiction. I've heard both versions of the time travel thing, that it is somehow possible and it isn't. So let's say that they did invent a time machine tomorrow. You go back to that time in your life, and if you were somehow to be able to inhabit your mind from then, it would not be you from that time. I don't know that there's any way to actually erase that presence of yourself. And if you can't, then it won't be the same. It just won't be. Again, I don't bad. I understand the impulse. Why did it do that? Sometimes I don't know. Well, actually, that was okay. So that was a good thing. That was an accidental good thing because I wasn't on the ring layer. You know what? Actually, let me see something. I'm just looking at something. No, that's fine. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so it would be interesting if you could do it, but I don't think it would necessarily be good to be able to go back and revisit that stuff. Maybe not as good as we think it would be. It seems appealing, but is it really? I don't know. I'm not convinced. Because again, we aren't the same people after a very short amount of time. I mean, even within 5 years of that trip, I was a radically different person. I mean, not to the point where people wouldn't know me if they ran into me or anything, but just in terms of the way I saw the world. And some of it was the result of going on that trip and the people I went with and the people that I still knew and talked to and all that stuff. I mean, that's how it works. So, yeah, I don't think about stuff like that the way I used to, where I went, oh, yeah, it'd be great to go back and be 18 or 20 again. I don't know. Not really sure it would. Not really sure it would be as appealing as I would think. Physically, it would probably be better, sure, because, I would have more hair and wouldn't get tired as quick. So physically, my eyesight would probably be far better. But would it really be better? Would I really want to live that way? I don't know. But a lot of people probably disagree with me and would jump at the chance to go back 10, 15, 20 years. And maybe they're right and maybe I'm wrong. I'm frequently wrong about lots of things, so could be. I think we're going to go ahead and, this is a little bit shorter. Yeah, 30 minutes, that's not bad. I mean, it's 2 streams, so it's okay. But I think I'm going to wrap up here with these rings because I've been sitting in a chair for a while now, and even though it's a very comfortable chair, it's still a long time to be sitting in a chair. So, yeah, I think we'll wrap up here. We'll make this a little bit of a shorter on this end stream, but still getting things done here. You know, got some ring lines in there. Got the teeth done. Got the jawbone there done. Got this interior part done. This thing is moving along. So I think next time, I don't know what the next one will be. I don't know if it'll be the rat or the skull. It'll be one or the other, I promise. But, yeah, we're going to go ahead and break here. Had a nice little set of streams for the middle of the week since we got a unexpected break in the weather. So hope you all had a nice day. Hopefully it was not extraordinarily hot where you were. And whenever you're watching this, thank you for watching in whatever form you are watching it. And have a wonderful rest of your whatever is left for you in this day or night. And we'll see you on the next stream. All right. Take care.